What's up, Internet? This episode, I'm going to be referencing an idea that Dakota Wint on YouTube has expanded upon, and his change on what the concept of good and evil, and basically what spirits are. And he was getting into the effects of what the psychedelic drugs have on the brain, and he just changed his position. Originally thinking that it is all in your mind. There's no doubt about that, divisions that you have, but there's this argument: is it in your mind, or are you actually coming in contact with things that you don't normally see? So this is just something that I had been thinking and making notes lately, and I wanted to expand upon what he was talking about, which was just the good and the evil, true goodness and true evil, just the dualistic nature of the reality that we live in, and just the concept of duality. When you really take the time to think about how we live in reality, there is always a balance. There's either good stuff, there's bad stuff, and there's a spectrum to each. There's just pure goodness, pure darkness, and everything in between. And people, no doubt, are influenced by evil and goodness. And it's just, the older that I get, the more I understand that there's some true evil out there. There's no doubt about that. And you try to make sense of it. It's like, why was Hitler born? Was he born to do what he did, or was it life that conditioned to him? Was he influenced by something? But there is no doubt that Hitler was one of the most disgusting human beings to ever exist on this planet in modern time. And I mean, he's responsible for hundreds of millions of deaths. I mean, that is just, children, little babies, separating families, and just basically making an experiment of it, and putting people in gas chambers and just experimenting with different gases to suffocate them. And it's just very hard to even comprehend. And was he influenced by like a force? And I think yes. I think that the goodness in someone's heart, like that, we're a blank slate when you're born, right? You're a blank canvas, and based on your environment and the people that you're around and your own interests and your own actions, you create who you are. And everybody has a choice. And I don't ever want to hear an excuse, and I don't make that excuse to myself, that I'm always the first to blame myself if there's something that I did wrong, even if it's really kind of not my fault. I'm always like, well, you know what? If I wouldn't have done this, or if I would have done this better, it wouldn't happen. And I'm always blaming myself, and just the nature of the human being is so malleable. It's so easily influenced. And let's just say that there is entities that we do not, we're unable to detect with the senses that we possess without, we do have a sixth sense, and that's what drugs are, that's what psychedelics are, and you were able to open your mind and straight up see things that aren't normally there. And everyone's experiences can either be different, or people can have group trips and group visions, and it just makes you wonder what is real. The old Matrix code. And Parker, please come on. And this is very hard with my son running around. I'm sorry, but to address Dakota in particular, I wanted to expand upon what you were saying with the spirits, and I do feel like that there's forces that are unknown to us, but it always seems to be there. And I've never been a person with really good luck, but I've also never been a person that has just had terrible. Life has been pretty good to me, and I'm 30 years old now, and it's just with certain things that happen in life, and with the coronavirus. I used to work in the emergency medical field as an EMT, and I was doing the firefighter thing for a while, and I left that last year to pursue the job that I'm doing now, and it could be coincidental, it could be coincidence, but there's just some things where it's like, man, like it's really coincidental, and it feels like that happened, and I mean I chose to leave, and it just feels like that there's something influencing me to make that choice, and I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. I don't really have. If I was still working as an EMT, I would almost certainly be exposed to the coronavirus, and I've got a family, and I don't ever want to be responsible for anything like that or passing it on to other people, because that's the problem with this is everything is developing, and you know many people are asymptomatic, which you don't have any symptoms of the virus, and you could be passing along the virus unknowingly to countless people. So I'm very lucky, and I'm just thinking about the good that's been happening in my life, and I'm extremely grateful. And it just, I feel like if you were just, you try, you put in effort, and you just try to be a good person, like there's going to be mostly good things that it just seems like it's your intuition, you know, God, whatever you want to call it, just something like a third element that just is outside of your understanding, and just is almost like a nudge in the right direction. Like at the bottom line, you got to make choices, but it's just, you know, these little things that are whispering in your ear. It's your inner thoughts. There's no doubt about that, and that just thickens the mysteriousness of if your brain is producing these visions, or if are you actually having an external experience. Just something to just nudge it in the right. Like if you're on a raft in the middle of the ocean, and you just nudge it in one direction, you just go in that direction, you know. And so Dakota, if you watch this, I'd like to maybe have like like a thought-provoking, fun little discussion. And something that I was thinking about is the concept of time in its vastness, not just a human life, but of course stretching far, far, far back, and far, far, far in the future, the beginning of the universe and the end of the universe as like a timeline. You know, if time were to have a geometrical shape, you would think it would be a circle. And with the pyramids and monuments that are built, there's no doubt that it's if not anything else, it is a message. You are creating a message to future generations, countless years. Like years is almost doesn't even make any sense, and it's almost not rational. But when you create a stone monument, for example, you're sending a message to the future. I mean, is it possible that you can do that reverse? Like if it's a circle, and this is the beginning of the universe, and this is the end, that means it repeats. It's over and over. And could you influence the future? Could you influence the past? Can future generations influence the past somehow? And it's just very kind of hard to come up with examples of that, but there's no doubt that you can influence the future, and I will be that guy. I'm gonna make a pyramid. I'm gonna try to make something, because and this is another reason why I want to do this YouTube thing and have something left over after I'm gone. I want there to be something of me. And how cool would it be to like make not even necessarily a pyramid, like that's like you got to be a skilled engineer to even make a small scale, but just to make something that lasts and put in your backyard, even if it was a monolith, just a stone that points at due east during the spring equinox, just something that is there and that will be there for a very, very long time. So when our society is completely collapsed and erased, and there's a new society that rises and some farmer finds it sticking out of the ground, and it's something that I made or a group made, it's just, that's cool shit to me. That is so cool. And at the end of the day, at the end of your life, that's really anything that's like, all this is going to go away. Everything that you try to achieve and all the possessions, that's all going to not exist. It's going to be forgotten. And ultimately everything is going to be destroyed, and the Earth isn't going to be around forever. Our solar system, the universe isn't going to be around forever. But just to make something, it's almost like a time capsule, just to communicate with future generations and preserve information. Really, bottom line, that's what most pyramids are. Not all, but the ones in Egypt in particular. That is, it's a time capsule. You're preserving information, and it's so mind-blowing. It's the deeper that you go into that subject. I've been doing this for 4 years. The deeper that you go into studying what the pyramids are, what the Great Pyramid is, it's just pouring information. It's just screaming at you, and you just have to learn how to listen to it. And it's super cool, and I could talk about this forever, but please check out Dakota Wint's YouTube page. He's very intelligent, and seems like a pretty cool guy, and that's really all I got for right now, so thank you very much.